Yes, born and raised in Minneapolis. Um, I lived on 35th, 3519 Newton is where I lived at.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I went to Lincoln Elementary School. I went to Franklin for middle school,
Uh-huh.
and I went to North. I graduated from North.
Thank you for joining us tonight here at the Table Talk. I have you here in this space because we have a lot of leaders in our community that we don't get to recognize. You know, there are some people that's overly noticed, then there's a lot of people that go unnoticed. And here on our episode in this show, we give people like you and I the opportunity to talk and get to know who you are. So I appreciate you for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Can
Thank you
you
for having me.
tell us a little about yourself?
Well, my name is Marcus Zackery. I've worn many different hats inside the community. I have been married for 16 years. I have a 19-year-old son, a 14-year-old daughter, and so I've done a lot of youth work. I started off mainly in youth development. That's what majority of the work I've done. I worked for the Boys and Girls Club for 20 years in various roles. In the last I was there for 20 years, and I ran the Jerry Gamble Boys and Girls Club for the last 7 of those years that I was there, and I learned a lot. And now my current role, this is my 3rd year at Henry High School as public relations and student activities. So now I've switched role into being an educator. So I spent like I said, I spent the majority of my time doing youth development, and now I'm in education. Outside of that, I really have a passion for coaching basketball and being a mentor that way as well. So those are some of the things that I've done and continue to do. So.
Busy guy. Thanks for sharing that. Um, Growing up, you're from Minneapolis, so you've seen a lot of things changing within the community, good, bad, whatever. What make you keep Northside in Minneapolis home?
I think like what I love the North Side. Like I said, I've been to school. I went to school on the North Side. I've met all my friends on the North Side. I met my wife at North High School. I really love the community that we have, the history that we have. People from North Side are very passionate. And they're passionate about where they come from. So I just love the energy of that, especially the people that I grew up with. And now with this younger generation, what I'm seeing now is students that I work with, or members at my Boys and Girls Club. They're now getting into youth work. They're now getting into coaching and different things like that. So it's nice to see things come full circle. So I think that's what really keeps me grounded and wants me to keep doing the work over here.
Now I want to pick because you graduated from North
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you work at Henry.
yeah,
You know that
yeah.
don't mix.
It doesn't mix. So I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Like my son, he played basketball at Henry, and me and my wife, of course, I'm cheering for my son regardless.
Right.
But my wife, as soon as the game was over with, she running over to the North Side to go cheer for North when my son wasn't playing. So it's crazy how that happened because you end up developing a relationship with the students. You watch them play, you giving them pointers, and then you start rooting for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm at a North and Henry game and I'm working at Henry, I want to see a good competitive game. And I want to see all our kids do well. So I know that's like the corny answer because I know it's a big rivalry or whatnot, but that's just how I really feel. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good rivalry. We represent both, but it's either pick one.
Oh, it's tough. I mean, of course, you always gonna ride with your alma mater. That's where you went to school at. That's where you played I played my football at or played sports at, and met my teachers at. So North is always going to be that. My kids chose a different route, so my kids decided to go to Henry. So I'm not mad at that either.
My
So,
kid did the same thing. I was a Patriot and my child was at North, so I understand.
but don't you see? Haven't you seen that? I've seen this happen with more than just us. Like, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of like families I know that went to North that are bringing their kids to Henry. You know what I mean? Like, I can name like 3 or 4 or 5 parents that I speak to on a daily that their kids go to Henry but went to North. So it's crazy how that changes. Because if you would have told me back then my kids are gonna go to, nah, my kids ain't going to Henry. You know what I'm saying? My kids is going to North. But it's close to the house. When my son went to the orientation, he's like, I like the teachers here, and I let him choose his own path that way. So, and now he's graduated, he's in college, and he's going to school to become a gym teacher. So, and going to Henry, they had an awesome education pathways program where, they work with Black Men Teach, and he was able to get involved with that. So Henry gave him not only a really good education, but he also found like identity of like what he wanted to do. So I'm proud of the school in that way. So, Henry gets props for me with that.
Growing up, did you most kids have dreams and goals of what they want to be and do in life. Did you ever see yourself working with youth, since you've been working with youth for quite some time?
You know what? I never, as a kid, no, I didn't. But what happened was like similar to what happened to my son. Is like these opportunities kept falling into my lap. So I was 15 years old, and this lady, she ran community ed. Her name was Linnea Hackett. And she was like, I know y'all love basketball. I got like this 5th grade basketball league. Could you come and coach? So me and my friends were coaching opposite teams, and we had a little bet on whose team would win the championship. And that moment, I kind of like really loved coaching at like 15 years old. And then I got into peer education. It was just crazy how certain things just kept falling in my lap. So it was like the stars was kind of aligned for me to do this. And my mother was an educator. My sister's an educator, so I could see how it happened. Now, what I thought I wanted to do, of course, was get into sports. I thought being a sports like analyst would be fun, you know what I'm saying? But I never did take that route. So once I got into it, I just loved it. So, but as a kid, I didn't think I'd be doing that. It's just opportunities just kept presenting themselves like this is what you're supposed to be doing. So that's how that happened.
So as being a coach, you what's the name of the organization?
So I've coached for 2 programs. I first started with FAB, which is Future Academic Ballers, and that really gave me the groundwork. I really learned how to be a better coach with FAB. Shout out to Lucas Patterson. He laid a great foundation with Future Academic Ballers because it was more than just a basketball program. It was like a mentoring. It was youth development inside of basketball. And we had this mantra, you pay the fee, which was focus, energy, and effort. So that's what we took into that. So I coached at FAB, and I currently am coaching for a program called Hard in the Paint Hoops. We got an AAU program. We're pretty solid. Ibrahim, he's the head of the organization, but we just got teams through that way. So I'm having fun though. It gives me an outlet, and it's a passion of mine. So I really enjoy doing it and what I'm doing. We got a tournament this weekend coming up, big tournament. So
working with the youth, do you see your impact in their development, like stepping into their lives? And
I think like I do see the impact, but I think like what I see more is like the impact that they had on me. Like the things that I've learned about myself through them. Like we go to basketball practice and they think that they're learning all this stuff from me, in which they are. They're learning how to play the game the right way. But they're also learning. I'm also learning how to be a better coach, how to be more patient, how to, you know what I mean. So and even the job that I have currently is I get to plan their prom and plan their graduation and plan like all these experiences for them. So they come back and they're like, man, thank you so much. Like that's the impact you get when they come back and they tell you thank you. That's when you see it. Even some kids I had who, one young man, when he was in the 6th grade, I was like, he might have been the worst player I had on my team. He's now a Division I basketball player at the University of Lamar. So like you never, he just didn't stop. He said, man, I just kept paying the fee. That stuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to see that. So, the impact that we can have, and that feels good. And that's probably another reason to go back to your first question, why we keep doing it, because that definitely feels good to see people, you have an impact and people appreciate the impact, so.
Cool, cool. That's what's up. Family man.
Yeah.
So, what are some things that you like doing with your family when it's family time?
Man, family time, I'm not gonna lie, like, we like to get in the kitchen and watch the Vikings. Like, that's our family thing, a huge Viking fan. I love the Vikings. So it's, my wife, my kids, my brothers, my sisters, we all get together on Sundays. We create a theme or what we're gonna have. It could be, we might have Mexican one night, we might have Italian one game, we might have soul food one day. So, we got this Skull Food Sunday is what we call it. So we all just hang together and, we look forward to that. And of course the holidays, you know what I'm saying? We get together and, for me, the holidays is different. I lost both my parents. So, it used to be going to my mom's house and eating there. Now it's, Thanksgiving's at my house, Christmas at my sister's house. So we've changed, like we've kept the traditions of food and stuff and the same family values, just in a different space, which was weird at first. Like Thanksgiving at my house was so weird the first year, but now it's turned into a tradition, and we sit down and we watch football and play games. And so, so so a lot of it is around food. You know what I mean? That's what it's around. So,
what are some of your favorite dishes that y'all?
Man, we do everything. One family member makes this barbecue spaghetti. My brother's catfish. My sister's macaroni and cheese. We've had oxtails. We've had, what else have I made? I made tacos, like the street tacos. I got a griddle at the house. So I really like to cook. You know what I mean? I love cooking. So those are just some of the things that we've had at the games. And it's always a hit. Like, I can't wait for the first game of the year. That's really, really where we spend time with family and really enjoy ourselves. So,
growing up, what centers did you go to as a child? Like, where was your play area?
Hospitality House. I went to the Hub. So Tuesday nights, you go in there, you play basketball.
That's off of
that was
Plymouth
on.
And Logan?
Yep, Plymouth and Logan.
Okay.
So I played basketball there, and I played for them. So, the big rivalry was always with Jerry Gamble. So I would, our games would be like 230 people in there, like to see like 12-year-olds play. Like, it would be packed in there. So I remember that was a huge rivalry. So the Hub and Jerry Gamble was like, you had to be there if we was playing. So, and then, I played ball at all the parks because that's when the park board, you really had a lot of talent in the park board. So you would play against Jordan, you played against North Commons, you played against Farview. So, but the Hospitality House is with the center that I probably was at the most when I was growing up. We played a lot of outside ball at Hall too. You know what I'm saying? We did that too at Hall.
Like
the school,
Hall right there?
the school, right across the street from Franklin. Right connected to Franklin.
Yeah, right across.
So we would play ball there too. So those were the places I was at the most as a youth.
So you was real big on sports growing up.
Yeah, I did a lot of sports growing up. I think that's what we did. Like, it was sports and video games. Like, that's pretty much what I did majority of my time. I think what the other thing, go to the movies. You remember when they had the little dollar show at in Robbinsdale? The Terrace Theater. So we would do that. Like, so a lot of my time was spent doing that. Like, when we were able to go to the mall, like downtown, Pops. You remember the video arcade? The Pop, man. So we spent a lot of time there too. So we go downtown, bus was only a quarter. You go to Pops.
With the paper transfer.
Man, what? Yes. Then we had that. So we would go to Pops Video Arcade, play video games. They had a pizza place called Slice in New York. We go there. So yeah, that was.
Is that still down there?
I don't know if it's the same one though. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we did. And I think we had a lot of fun, over here. So,
Did you have cell phones, or you had to come home to the street? Like,
oh
which
man,
one was it was?
it wasn't no cell phones, man. When we was in middle school, I really didn't get a cell phone until I was like a year out of high school. I think my first device was like a pager. Like the first thing I used to like for people to connect with me, like electronically, was a pager.
Find a payphone.
Yep.
Put that
We
quarter in
rode
there.
around with quarters. That's what we did. If you had your pager, you had to have a bunch of quarters. So that's what we did. You know what I mean? So, yep. Yeah.
Growing up in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. I graduated high school in '97, so I don't think I got my first cell phone till I don't know, a few years after that, like maybe like early 2000s or something like that. But yeah, so I grew up in that generation.
So your family is big on tradition. How do you make sure that when your kids come of age that they keep those same values?
That's a good question. I think just keeping that connection and showing them the importance of family. And like I think some of those same traditions that we've done, they've been carried over to like my family. Like my mom will always buy us pajama pants Christmas Eve, so that when you woke up, you took your pictures and stuff like that, you looked halfway decent. So my wife still does that now. So my kids will probably do that for their kids. And also like my daughter and my great niece, they're more like sisters than they are cousins. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, and then they got to learn how to cook some of these recipes too. Like, cause as my aunt and them got older, we started cooking. You know what I'm saying? So I think that'll happen for them too.
When you plan on getting them in the kitchen?
Well, my daughter already kind of in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? She's already dabbling. My son, he's still like an air fryer guy and pizza guy. We'll get him cooking sooner or later.
Hey,
But my nephew,
pizza is good.
it is, but you gotta learn how to cook though. My nephew, he just graduated from Rhodes College in Memphis. He was actually down there smoking ribs and selling them. So like he gonna be able to get on the smoker, on the grill. So we can pass that off to him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how you keep it going. Because I ain't gonna be the only one cooking forever. Like you gotta learn how to cook. You know what I mean? So he got that.
You ever thought about writing out a few of your recipes to pass on to your kids?
No, I ain't never really thought about that. You know why? Because I don't really use recipes. And I think I need to start doing it.
You use recipes, you just don't write them down.
Right. So I do have okay. I ain't never thought about that. But I think that's a good way to keep some of them family traditions and family recipes. So
right, even
that's a
if
good
you
idea.
write it out and be like, grab the bottle, 7 shakes of this, 2 shakes of that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to measure it out, but just to write down the ingredients that you use and how you do this, how long you take to do that, and all that. Because when family pass on and they got those special recipes,
Yeah.
and we try to figure out how we made it, and we're like, damn, we could at least had them spoken
Right.
out, written it
Right.
out, and guess the ingredients. But I think it's important that we pass down our recipes to our kids so they could remake those same dishes, because I know that when we create our parents' dishes or any family member dish that made that dish, we think about them while we eat it, right? Because we like, my mother made this remind me of my mother, right?
Yeah.
So if we're not teaching our kids how to cook our food or what we put in our food, how will they remember us when they're sitting at the table?
Right. That's a good point. And I'm gonna take heed to that, because I think that is important, because it's a huge piece of your family. Like a lot of times when you meet, that's the center of it, is like food. You know what I'm saying? And so I do think that it's important that they have those tools to continue on, especially if they like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't the only one that got to cook this, right? And sometimes when you and cooking ain't hard neither. Like to some things are so simple. You know what I mean? And I think people taste your food and be like, man, you must have did a whole lot to this. And sometimes it's just something simple.
All right, it's just a flick of the wrist, right?
Yeah. Like this salad is really good. Like The dressing, like, yeah, I might need the recipe on this dressing. For real. It's really good.
I'll probably tell you what ingredients in it. Ain't gonna tell you the measurements. You know.
I got you.
Share some of it.
No,
Then we
dog.
won't get you here in the cafe then, right? Because you're making the dressing at home.
Right. I can see
yeah.
that. I like to cook. Give me the summers when I'm, not as busy.
Right. And food always bring the conversation to the table. I know now that we have devices and stuff, some families don't sit at the table and eat without being on their phones. So if we put that plate on the table and leave those devices on the counter, we'll be able to have more engaging conversation, see what actually going on with the young people, see what's going on with the adults, and put everything on the table and figure it out.
We do eat different now, do we?
Yeah,
It's like we
grab
cook.
and go.
You grab and go. People go to their own little spaces. They eat. Everybody got their own little TV show. I was just talking to one of my buddies about it. I'm like, my kids watch TV so different. Like, when Martin was on Sundays, you had to be there at 7 o'clock. Like, it was Martin, it was In Living Color, it was whatever the lineup was, you had to be there at that time to see it. Like, there wasn't no going back and watching it or streaming it or.
You know what mine was? I think it was Friday night or Saturday night. I think it was SmackDown versus Raw. I think it was that. It was the Cop Show, and then it was what's the other guy named what's his name? It'd be like it was the wrestling, the Cop Show, and then American Most Wanted.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
we couldn't pause the TV. We had to be there to watch it. We missed it, right?
Right.
So
right.
I started at the show started like about 7.
Yeah.
From 7 to 9.
Yeah.
I was in the house at 7.
That's what
you
had to watch them. Like, you had to be there.
It wasn't no option, right?
Yeah, now they can record stuff, go back to it, binge watch it. I ain't gonna. My kids will let a whole season pass because I want to binge watch it. I'm like, so they watch TV totally different. I mean, I do it too, but I think that has taken away from like that family time. How important like being around the TV was, because that's when you ate dinner. You would eat dinner and watch them shows all together. You know what I mean? So I think like I wish I kind of missed that element of it. It's kind of like how we watch football. Like, we all watch football together. So we have that time, but like shows and stuff, like, no, we don't.
I know how to get it back.
How?
You get rid of the Wi-Fi, you get rid of the cell phones, and we watch regular TV, right?
That would be tough.
Just don't pay the bill.
I get that, but we can't go without it. The kids will go crazy.
Yeah, we can go without it.
We could. Well, you know what?
What do you need your phone for?
Mainly to talk and text.
Why do you need the text?
You don't have to, but I'm just saying that's my main function of a phone.
A home phone. What's it called? A landline?
Yeah, but we can't be out here just. That would be tough. I'm just saying that would be tough for me. I think like
you get the wireless phone, the cordless.
The cordless, man. They be fighting over the phone. You clicking over
you
3-way.
Excuses now. We're trying.
I get what you're saying, but we can't do. There's only so far I'm gonna go back retro. I like my technology. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I will do is maybe set time aside to say, look, like, let's watch a movie together and not be interrupted by none of our devices. I would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's put our devices up and just watch a movie. Like me and my kids. Well, they're older now, so it's just even that's different. They're like 19 and 14, so they kind of like. I just got like 2 broke roommates. Like that's what my life is like. So.
Right. If you turn the Wi-Fi out, they come out their room like.
Oh man.
They be like, "What happened?"
That's the only thing they'll try to fix too. Like if anything else get broke, they'll be like, oh, whatever. But let the Wi-Fi go out. Man, they're unplugging stuff. They're trying to troubleshoot. They're trying to, you know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. That's my kids. Probably not just my kids, but so. I do agree though. I miss that though.
Or you get rid of the Wi-Fi and just have, was it AOL?
Dial up. So you saying we can't play no games online? Like, I don't know. No, we can't go back that far. I'm not willing to compromise that. I'm sorry. You want me to go back to call waiting? I'm not doing none of that. None of that.
And a typewriter.
Nah, I'm good. I
Do
need.
you remember doing paperworks? I remember writing reports at home and on the typewriter because we didn't have a computer. It was like ting 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 ting, bing, ting 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 ting. Like
Man, you know, my homie had the word processor. It was like a little upgrade from a typewriter. We would type our papers on that. But man, I need spell check. Like I can't go back to that. Like I need to be typing it. Oh, this word ain't
the
right. I need to
whiteout,
fix.
you do the
No, we ain't
whiteout
doing
and
that.
then you
Cause then I gotta
slide
go
it back.
check to see if I spelled the word right in the dictionary. Nah. You gonna type that word out, that red line gonna come under, boom, it look like that. We gonna do it that. That's so you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have an issue with technology. You know what I'm saying? I do think technology for our kids on a serious note though, I think our kids have a harder time letting things go because of the technology. Like if you were, and I see this in all facets of the areas I've worked in, um, let's say the bullying, right? Like somebody being bullied or like the bullying don't stop because now you can say something to them on Instagram. You can say something to them on Facebook. You can go to their Snapchat or go to the group chat and talk about them or whatever. So it doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? The if you're trying to intimidate, that can just keep going and going. So I do see the negatives behind it and how it affects, you know, our youth. Even them just being able to sit in class and concentrate without their phones is so difficult for them to do.
I have a question. Do you think technology have dumbing us down? Like, can you remember somebody's number?
Right.
If your phone died and you was stuck anywhere,
I know my wife's number. I know my kids' number and a few of my friends' numbers, but that's it. But most of the times, if you were to ask me, oh, you got such and such number? Yeah, let me get it for you. I had to look at my phone. I couldn't just ramble it off to you. So I do think that the convenience of it has dumbed it down in a little bit, but I also think there's nothing wrong with convenience either.
nothing at all. But I just be like, I'd be, what is it, SOL? If my phone died and I had to call somebody, I don't even know my kid's number.
Yeah, there's some numbers you just gotta know. I feel like the important you gotta know those numbers. You know what I'm saying? Cause, and I know my sister's numbers too.
I know 311, 211, 911. And my job number.
You got look. So if you're gonna challenge me on taking away technology and sit down and watch TV, you gotta learn people's numbers.
Okay.
Cause there's certain people's numbers I know. Like my older sister, I got her number down pat. My wife's number, I know it by heart. I know, you know what I mean?
Nowadays, people switch their phones with the prepaid plan. You leave this company, you come here, we give you a new phone and number.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they
That's
switch
true.
back to that number. Then they switch back.
Yeah, that happens. You know, but for the most part, I had the same number for a long time. So
That don't count.
yeah, I ain't dealt with too much switching.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: then, so you cook here, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
So do you think technology has helped you with cooking? Do you think it has had any effect on that, or is it just how it's always been?
I the technology with cooking, like being able to look at recipes online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has helped out in that way. Being able to troubleshoot, look at recipes, and research stuff online. So yeah, it has helped out a lot. It haven't helped me learn how to make homemade biscuits. So I don't know how good it's doing. I still am working on my biscuit.
Okay. Like I'm looking at things like the Instapot. Like I can use the Instapot and cook a pot of pinto beans in half the time. You know what I mean? So like
Can't you bake a cake in the Instant Pot? Or that's
you can
air fryer?
you can air fry, you can do dang near anything in all of them. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm scared of them.
Really?
Yeah.
What
I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah. But it's convenient though, I will say that though.
Just put me on the stove for my grandma pot.
Yeah. I don't mind making a pot of soup in the Instant Pot though. Like, it turns out great. So
You said a pot of soup?
yeah, like I do a lot of them copycat restaurants from like.
What's your favorite one?
The zuppa toscana that's at like Olive Garden
Excuse me.
with the sauce is like the Italian sausage, potatoes, and kale. I think kale's in it. Yeah, I know how to make that, so I make that in the Instant Pot. I've never tried it over the stove or nothing like that, but
How long it take?
15, 20 minutes, and it's done. You know, heavy whipping cream, a little bit of, Italian seasoning. That's it. So, you know what I mean? So I like technology in that way. It's convenient to me. So
I like convenience. Like I like using measuring cups when I do my cooking and my recipes.
right.
I ain't gonna say all black folks, but most black folks be like, I'm gonna just season it to the ancestors, say stop, right?
Right,
I know you
right.
heard it before.
Right.
But now me, I be in the kitchen like, it says just this right here, this is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually enough. I guess, growing up, we really didn't have measurement cups in the house, right? So we knew what to pour, and you better not pour too much or you're gonna mess it up,
Yep.
right? Because you're gonna eat it.
Right.
So learning to season to taste,
Yep.
but having a pair of measuring cups on deck is always a safe.
Gotcha. For real. I think you're right in that way, especially if you're baking something. Because if you're trying to baking is a science. That's why I don't really mess with baking, because it has to be exact. You know what I'm saying? You put one too many eggs or too much, you know what I'm saying, it messes up the whole product.
Yeah.
So with baking it's definitely necessary.
Definitely. So this salad right here, it's pretty good.
It's good. It's fresh.
Yeah.
It's not all. You know what I mean? The dressing ain't like. It's good and it's not heavy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, we did that real fast too.
yeah.
Quick snack, take no time. But again, I'm glad that you was able to join me today.
Oh yeah. I'm honored to join, and I like what y'all doing here.
Right.
So
I don't think I've seen you here, so I'd love to see you in
haven't.
this space.
I used to come.
haven't
You haven't seen. I used to come here and get the fried green tomatoes. I don't know if y'all still got that on the menu. The shrimp and grits.
That's what's cool.
So I had that. There was a time where there's some black eyed peas here too with rice. Fire. I used to come and get those.
When's the last time you've been here?
Man, so I don't think I've been here since like,
We had the Hot Wheel. So you could come here and get soul food on the go, right?
I didn't know that. So I'm gonna start coming. So I have not been up here since like the pandemic.
Okay.
So when I was working at Jerry Gamble, it was just easy. I come down here and get it. But see, then I started working at Henry. So for the last 3 years I haven't been here. But yeah, I definitely need to come back.
You're gonna have to stop down here and catch it on the go. You'll like it.
Yeah. So it was a certain time. What time does that happen at? It's like lunch hours or something.
From 11 to 3.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
definitely ride down.
Look at, I want to smash this salad, so we could.
All right, we're good.
Good. Yeah. So thank you again for joining us tonight, joining me here at the table, breaking bread, eating salad. I appreciate the work you do in the community.
Thank you.
And being true Northsiders, I'm Northside too. I'm born and raised. So that's it. We're gonna finish this salad off. Peace.
Thank you. Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
What hospital was y'all born in?
Hennepin County.
Not Northside.
North. I was born in North Memorial.
Not Northside.
That's
Well,
close
I was
enough.
born at Pilot City.
Pilot City.
What's it called
they
now?
even delivering babies at Pilot City? You old school. You say Pilot City.
What's it called now? It got
Pilot
North Point.
City.
North Point. It's called North Point.
Pilot City. Wow. Man,
Yeah, come
that's
on,
old
Northside
school.
Hospital. Northside Hospital. We got enough?
Y'all didn't have enough salad for you.
Sorry.
I was large.
I'm gonna get this paper for you to fill it out.
It is good though.
Made the salad wrong.
How?
You're supposed to put the dressing on before everything else.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Now y'all got y'all 2 cents to say.
I didn't want to be in.
I just got you.
sir.